edition 19. I'm going to call this Idiots and the Internet. Facebook actually gave me this inspiration, so surprise, surprise, because Facebook seems to be the forum for most idiocy on the internet nowadays. Excuse me. What really set me off is a poltroon. I'm not sure if everybody knows what that means. A poltroon is somebody who knows a little bit about a lot of things, but they don't know a lot about anything. Kind of a jack of all trades of knowledge, but in the end, they're not an expert in any way, shape, or form. What I keep running into are these idiots who seem to think that if it's on the internet, it must be true. So they can't formulate their own opinions. If a debate starts or a hot topic is mentioned, they're going to sit there and quote a number of, peer studies and polls, and I read an article about this or that or this. They can't formulate an original thought themselves. Why? Whatever happened to the days when we actually were educated and we knew how to convey that to others? It's not just about using big words. I see a lot of big words get used by a number of morons online, and most of them either don't know how to use them accurately, or they don't use them in a fashion that would best illustrate their point. They could use a better word. They just decided to use the 4-syllable fancy word in place of what would have been a 2-syllable succinct word. Now, I know I have suffered from the fact that, as my wife says to me, I lack the ability to dumb it down sometimes. I personally think I'm good at talking to an audience when I have a targeted audience. After all, I am a gamer, and quite a few gamers are complete idiots. So sometimes you have to dumb it down. But these are the people that try to smarten it up. They're not smartening it up because it's adding anything to any kind of debate, it's adding anything to any issue. It is simply trying to make them look good. Reminds me of the old show In Living Color. Damon Wayans played a character that was like a homeless guy, but he used big words and didn't know what they meant. So it was always funny just listening to how he would try to use them and how out of context they'd be taken. That's what these people remind me of. They're the new age. And the internet's one of the biggest problems with that, because not only does it give them all this false information or give them information they can fall back on because they're relying on other people's original thoughts, it gives them anonymity. We had a term that we used years ago, and we still use it to this day, which refers to internet balls. The anonymity of the internet allows you to grow balls, basically big titanium balls the size of beach balls. Why? Because you don't have to look people in the eye and come across an idiot. You don't have to look at people in the eye and lie to them. You can portray yourself however you want to, rather than portraying yourself as you actually are. There's one person in particular that is triggered kind of all this stuff. He tries to come across as some kind of scholar, some kind of social mover and shaker. I mean, this guy was a latecomer to the Occupy Jacksonville movement, and then pissed off a number of the members of it because he suddenly tried to claim that he was one of the organizers and one of the originators of it, just because every time cameras showed up, he made sure he stuck his face as far into front of the camera as he could. It's not a healthy thing. You meet this person in real life, though, and he has about as much personality as a turnip. He can't talk about subjects he doesn't want to talk about, and when he does, it's riddled with supposed facts. He has no opinion. He can't support his opinions. If you don't agree with what he says, he repeats it to you multiple times. He thinks apparently that if you say it to him, if he says it to you so many times, you're going to believe it. This is the same guy who he'd figure if he puts himself around a woman, that eventually they'd just fall in love with him. He was always just there, in your face like a face hugger. So he is one of the main, for lack of a better term, cancers that I'm referring to, that really need to be cut out of the system. And Facebook is the riddled body where you see the majority of them. The ones who are just going to pop up with their little idiot facts. I mean, I put other rants up. I mean, these people who are proponents of legalizing marijuana, they try to give you half the facts and half the time they give you half truths, and I'm not even talking about just half the facts. Gun control. People are going to do what's slanted towards them. You rarely get the full picture. And that's something that has been lost on our society now. Whatever happened to the day when you did real research, where you're going to go find documented facts, rather than something just happens to pop up on a website, because there's no guarantee it's true. I mean, look at the whole WikiLeaks crap. Hell, look at Wiki. Wiki portrays itself as an online encyclopedia of stuff. I can go on there right now and put a bunch of false facts on a bunch of entries. So, I guess the best way to phrase this is just remember, when you're posting online, once in a while try to formulate your own original thought. Pull the bubble wrap off your brain and actually use it once in a while, because it's appreciated by those who have already done the same. And you won't come off as a complete idiot. You might actually gain a little respect out of it. And I guess that's one of the other things. Get some self-respect. Once you get some self-respect, other people might start respecting you. Until then, it will never happen. And if people don't respect you, maybe you better take a hard look at yourself and figure out why. Okay, rant concluded. That was it. The internet idiots they just bug me. So, have a good day, guys.